Perspective.
Special welcome to all the junkies out there. This is your host, Vontae Swing, and you are now tuned in to Perspective Junkies. On last week's episode, we discussed rapper Mulatto preferring to be identified as biracial and not just black. We also discussed censorship and family structure in today's society. But on this week's episode, we brought our boy back, our first, second guest, Harlem World, Swankadelic, Bass. Shouts out to him. And we had him on to finish up that mulatto discussion because he was completely against us. But we also talked about a ton of other things like the restaurant twerking, African American culture in this country, and we also got down to talking about fast money and why dudes want it. So, please go check this episode out and show love wherever you see fit. But most importantly, enjoy that show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to Perspective Junkies podcast. I'm one of your hosts, C. Swank, aka Codyocrates, aka Cody Knows Most, aka the man with the plan.
Cody don't know
I'm
shit.
joined by some of my co-hosts.
Hey, man, it's the boy, Vontae Swank, man of mental health in the building. We don't wait on him. Go ahead.
Oh, we gonna do it last?
Yeah, we're gonna do it last.
Yeah, I just want to explain to y'all how I get on this show to inspire the youth, as you know from Cody's cute new name, Cody Knows Most. That's not you. KB Knows Most here.
Yeah, while we on you,
we know who knows.
We gotta say shouts out to the Lakers squad, official shirt.
Bandwagon me.
That's classic. Y'all need to be paying attention to every episode. Kenzie's wearing a classic item. Everybody needs to pay attention to that. The more we go, I want you guys to look at his shoes, whether it be his jackets. He's doing something classic almost every episode. We got the Jordan 4s for us.
He's just rocking shit to rock it now.
Right.
It's the only time I can. I'm not in school anymore and I don't go out. Close to young men.
And you don't do rows. But
not
anybody.
Right.
So we got the boy in the building.
Boy.
The sticks in here.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Your boy
Baz
in the building, Baz in the building, aka
Blanco Baz.
Blanco Baz.
Harlem World.
Hey, you already know.
From the
Head
Blanco
Swank
podcast. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm hearing on the block. That's the truth.
And this is what I feel like when it comes to that though. I feel like everybody just got their own niche for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I don't really when they say that I don't really be taking it as I feel like I'm goddamn like we Sparta and I'm leading the front the charge and shit.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just just getting the respect from a certain crowd. I feel like y'all get a respect from a certain crowd. It's
I'm gonna let y'all know in South Georgia, I am the head swank. I let them believe that. I don't argue. It is what it is.
I know you claim that.
I don't even know where my head swank at. I got to figure out my district.
Yeah.
Cody's like, I'm head swank.
I'm not cool with none of that shit y'all talking about. But no. Well, we'll get into our first topic. We saw a couple of tweets related to this issue, so we thought we should address it. So I'm just going to pose the question and let you guys get your opinion. We'll start with Kenzie. Do you believe...
Always putting pressure on me first.
Do you believe that women should compare the love that they receive from their father to the love that they receive from romantic partners?
I got two answers for that.
Let's hear it.
Because I can see both ways.
Okay.
In one way, if you have a daughter, you want to spend your whole life teaching your daughter how a man should treat her by the way you treat her.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why women would expect that. But like you were saying in the car, of course it's different. The way your father treated your mother is going to be different from where, he ain't got no daughters. The way my father treated my mother is going to be different from the way he treated my little sister. So there is a big fence in it. It's kind of hard, but I don't think they should compare that because in that way, you should also give your boyfriend 100% control like your father does.
Ooh.
That's a big comment. Big comment.
He's
snapping. Go ahead, Harlem.
All right, Baz.
I feel like you just hit it on the nail on the head right there. I feel as if, of course, as a father, you're gonna set a standard for your daughter for her to want to look that into her partner, but it's an unrealistic thing to really just think like, for one, somebody is gonna be like another person for one, and for two, the type of relationship it is at the end of the day is different. A father and a romantic partner, it's a lot of different things in that. You know what I'm saying? So you can get your standard of a person from your parents and who they, you know what I'm saying, what they give off from that. But as far as like doing exact things to the T, hell no.
I'm going to break it down. I'm going to ask a question and you can answer it, Vontae can answer it. What are the things, if you were to give, let's say, 3 things that you should be looking to the father for to set an example, and 3 things that are completely just a romantic partner? You can't even get this from your father.
Just the way you handle things, maybe, or like handle like just grown men, like handyman type shit. That's the only thing I feel like a woman can expect, like the same standard from like the father. Anything else is like kind of being unrealistic, like, in my opinion. You can want your man to be handy like your father or some shit like that, but if you think he gonna be like this personality like your father, that's unrealistic.
So just to even touch on this whole topic, like I feel like it just has to be a realistic lens on everything. And this can be applied for men with their single mothers, or not even just single mothers, but super caring mothers, and expecting them that to result into the same thing. Like parents just have to do things in order to see you succeed. So they're going to try to make sure you got everything you need and what they think you might need. And that includes putting some food on the table. That includes, handing over the cash to make you happy, just because that's the position that they're in. And for a partnership, it's supposed to be equally given back and forth. And for parent to child, it's not the same type of return that you're going to give back to your parent. Like your parent doing things just because of parent, you like, cool, I'm just going to show you love back. Like you still one of my favorite parents type joint or something like that. But you're not going to be like, oh, you paid the bills this month, I got you this. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you are on that grown type of level, then that's a whole different thing. But as you're growing up into childhood and going into adulthood, you kind of are receiving things from a parent that you wouldn't get back. So just when you are looking for certain qualities in a partner, yes, they can have certain qualities, but it has to be a certain lens to show that, like, all right, you're not going to be exactly like them. It's going to be received in a different way. Mm-hmm. But I still have a certain baseline of things that I want. And observing how your father treats other women should be a bigger thing, because he can treat you like a princess and then be dogging girls.
Oh, brother. Thank you.
Right.
I'm glad you touched it. That's the perfect segue.
You're looking from a blurred lens.
Exactly.
Like, it's a modified lens. He's going to show you everything perfectly because, of course, you're his seed. Like, why would he want to give you a tainted version of him? He's going to be trying to as perfect as possible. But he's probably not like that to everybody else.
I'm glad you said that, because I believe that's kind of the biggest thing, or the biggest issue I have with looking at romantic partners and comparing them to parental figures. The reason being is because, for the most part, parents are striving to give you unconditional love. And unconditional love, I don't think really should be given to you by anybody but your parents. So with a romantic partner, if you have a little attitude, he may not be as nice. If you're kind of talking crazy, he may not be nice. And it's the same with men to women. I think that, just like what Vontae touched on, it creates a mama's boy environment when you expect a woman that you date to have the same level of care or I guess ability to endure your small little problems, because they're trying to do whatever they can for you. Whereas your significant other, she's looking for happiness in herself. So you can't to compare it is already wrong. And then the second thing that he said was, you have a contaminated lens. So to look at my father or look at my mom, I think that they're both intelligent. I think they're cool. However, I don't judge them by how they treat me, but how they treat each other. So I'm aware that my dad has weaknesses, and he had his little situations in the past, and my mom has little areas of weakness in the way that she treats him as well. So I have a more realistic view of how love should be, because I look through that lens. I wouldn't compare any woman to my mom, who's doing everything for me with the expectations of almost no type of reciprocity. So I think that's already like a bad.
I like that vocabulary.
Yeah, that's like a bad.
Say that again.
Reciprocity. Yeah, I'm piping up on y'all boys, but I just feel as though when people say that, they're not thinking one, the time that it took for your father to become that. I hear this from girls all the time. They're like, oh, my dad does, he provides, blah blah. When I meet this man, me being a man, I can look at his eyes and talk to him, and I'm like, this was not a good guy at age 24.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't a good guy at age 28. He doesn't even have the behavior, the vernacular to even fake like he was a good guy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was clearly he was a dog. This was a horrible dude.
Ooh.
He became a straight guy.
Ooh.
You gotta pay attention. We're taking the hypothetical father.
I was looking up that word you said.
Reciprocity? Yeah, we're looking at the hypothetical father of these women. Yeah. No, I'm saying it right.
Did you learn how to spell it?
Yeah, I had to.
People trying to question your intelligence. They don't even know they shit, bro.
But just to add to that as
I
well.
don't know shit.
So you gotta come better than that.
To add to that, for the male tweet, it's been like I've been seeing males talking about like, I saw my mama work full time, then come home and cook. How the fuck would I be with a chick that can't even cook?
Right, let's get in there. Let's dig into the male side too.
I'm like, for one, you could have been putting in some work in the kitchen too. Like you was like, "Ma, I still gotta eat. I've been playing the game. You ain't
right. You 14 years old, grow up. Like after 14, you shouldn't have been watching her do all that. Like that's lame.
It's like after 14, man in the house.
14, you should be able to cook your meals. It's so much refrigerated meals. Like if you starving at 8th grade and above, you're an idiot.
Like, why you ain't home yet?
I need help, Mom. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But,
shout out to David. Pull up on David. Can you take me to Dairy Queen?
Oh my gosh! But all right. Does anybody have anything else to add to that?
I feel like we all on the greens, focus on the lenses and be real.
Right.
And while we're speaking on father figures, we're gonna piggyback to a man who played a father figure to the restaurant that he owned. At True Kitchen, I don't know, approximately a week or so ago, there is a man who caught viral attention. I don't know if it's just through the black community or through the whole world, but he caught viral attention through Black Twitter because he informed his patrons, the people who had paid money to eat at his dinery, that they need to stop twerking on his couches. That was essentially the base of the message. A couple other comments, so we don't miss anything. He also said, I want men to respect the woman here.
No,
how can I?
He said, I want men to respect themselves. How can I expect them to respect themselves if y'all don't respect yourselves?
Okay.
When he said that, I was like, that's different than what niggas was
saying.
Then
now dig into what you feel was right or wrong about the delivery, about the message, and I want you guys to also think this. What does this say about the bigger? The community, like the fact that we're split on was the response right or wrong. What is that divide?
Also, speak on what would men do seeing women twerk. They're like, I gotta get busy here now.
Of course, if you start a restaurant and you have a vision in your mind and you have a certain vibe you want in your restaurant, and the people are coming in and they're not delivering that vibe or they're ruining the vibe that you wanted, I could see where he's coming from and I could see why he's upset. So I don't disagree with what he was saying, but I disagree with his delivery. He came a little too hard. He came too far.
He came like the Martin Luther King of restaurants.
Yeah, were you ignorant?
He came way too hard. He came too hard to paying customers. Like people already like this.
Right.
His delivery was wrong, but his message.
I feel like you could have did some Walmart shit, like how they like clean up on aisle 6, clean up on. You could have been like, no twerking on the couches, please. No twerking on the couches. You could have just did that. Like the nigga just was like, nah, I've had it with you.
Okay, Harlow. So how would you say if that was like his second time saying it? Like he
might have said
there is an article that said he went to speak to the ladies like minutes before he actually did that. So let's assume that he did speak to them.
So what if he hit him with the get the camera?
That changes a lot.
All right, Harlow, give the speech as if this is the last straw. Like give the speech how he should have said it.
He should have said if it was the last straw.
He like, all right, I done gave the announcement. I came and talked to y'all to the side. This is it.
I would have just went. I would have came with that energy, but to the specific people. I wouldn't have made it like all right, everybody, even you motherfuckers who eating proper as fuck over there, y'all motherfuckers gonna listen to me and understand what the fuck. Like, that's when you gonna come back and be like, nah, I kind of was overboard. Like, as far as like your delivery of it, like you were saying. Like,
let me put the pressure on you and ask a question people really want to know.
What?
Do you believe twerking in that situation is inappropriate?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want it, but when I seen the clip of like what niggas is playing and then we're having women in there, I mean, and lick and the like the setup for it is like it gives leeway for people to do that. This ain't just no fine, perfect wine and dining, like no standing or no like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a vibe environment. So like would I expect people to do it? Yeah. Would I prefer it? No. But like you saying, like I didn't know it was a combo beforehand. So if I come to you like, yo, chill on that, like this not the type of vibe you're trying to have, then I'll come with you again, just like I would need y'all to leave.
Would you argue that
I wouldn't come at everybody like that?
Would you guys say that any place that has liquor, a live DJ, you can't really police dancing?
Definitely not. That's what I don't get what is the lick and live performance for? If it's not,
I was just wondering. I'm just setting some baselines to kind of get
your
argument.
I'm just thinking about shit that's not even like standing on couch. Shit that's just like an open vibe or open table setting.
I
People are gonna get up and do a little 2-step or groove. Like that's just natural. Like,
okay.
I feel like the bigger conflict should be with the DJ. Because like that's who's controlling the vibe more than anybody. Like if there was one singular person controlling the vibe, it's the DJ. And so I'm hearing that he was playing like a twerk song. I mean, what would you want the response to be to a twerk song? Like, ooh,
right.
I'm gonna eat my chicken and play
some butterfly.
Right.
He want niggas to be sophisticated.
Right. He could have played some jazz shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what he played. Kendrick, he would have put them to sleep.
So, Mike, what you got to say about that?
Okay, so I have a mixed opinion. The first would be, I do think that standing on any type of furniture warrants people are going to trip, and you don't know when there's drinks in the air. You might got to get a little more aggressive just to deliver that message. So I cut them a little slack in that regards. As a person who educated in business management tips, I would have approached it. And the second time I'm coming to speak to them, it's just like, hey, we need you guys to step outside. I wouldn't have, just like Harlem said, I wouldn't have publicly kind of scolded the whole crowd like they're children. That's not a good thing. Yeah. And I agree with Devontae that the music kind of pushes people to dance and party. So it's like, what was your true intentions when you set up that scenery in that environment?
But what makes it worse is the video of him like afterwards, like
on top of
he really was, and that bitch lit too. So it's like you really look like a legit asshole.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But to me, I think the bigger argument is that what it seeps to, and this is what I tell everybody to do, like when you're listening to Perspective Junkies, try to look between the lines or at the story beneath the story. So with this situation, I think it reveals to people what is our code of proper behavior in public environments. What is the limit, or what is too far for women when it gets to dancing? Do we believe that there is a certain form of dancing that is sexual, or they make arguments that twerking isn't sexual at all? You know what I'm saying? And even though we may all agree, hey, he was tripping on that, when people try to piece away little arguments, it gets into bigger arguments. So people are like, I might trip if you step on my couch. And some people might say, I really don't want too many girls throwing ass at the eatery, or you know what I'm saying. So that's what I really look at. And for me, it comes down to, I believe when there's no kids there, that the rules for how, I guess, respectable or classy we have to play it should be pretty lenient,
right?
And that you shouldn't be policing them so strict. However, I don't agree with the mindset that no dancing is sexualized.
Right. I was gonna say that,
and I don't necessarily.
You cannot tell me bouncing your ass is not sexual. There's
even
other ways to dance if you want to divide. Like, we just being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Even if we have origins in, deep in our history where there used to be cultural dances that reflected, a little twerking, a little throwing something back, and it had no sexual meaning. I can't say that currently in our modern day society that we look at twerking the same way. So I'm going off of our current, the way what we associate this dance with is definitely a sexual vibe with it. And I don't think that all sexuality is wrong, but to make the argument that there should be no policing of that, or that there should be
police the cool.
Everything goes, I'm like, y'all getting a little willy-nilly to me, because I'm like, I don't even want to act like I'm agreeing with. I'm like, no, I don't agree with that. There has to be some type of
that's
moral,
like if a dude get behind a girl and he like, what, this ain't.
So
that means we doing that too, and
right? And when he made that comment that I want men to respect, I thought it was, I want men to respect women. How can I tell them to respect you if y'all are twerking? And there's a lot of people that's like, well, what? We want to speak on that. You can't respect a woman when she's twerking, and I want us to speak on that. Period. Like,
I do want to talk about that.
Can you respect a woman when she's twerking? My answer is in the inappropriate moment, no. And that's hard. That's a lot of people don't want to say that. No, we ain't good. I'm like, yeah, I'll say it. In an inappropriate moment, if you're twerking, respect's out the window.
Yeah.
We in the library, you twerking, kind of funny. Like, I ain't really,
You looking like,
and it's not that I'm going to slap you or I'm going to be disrespectful to you. I'm saying automatically in my mind, the level of the way I view you has changed just because of
they can't meet your mother?
Nah.
So-
you gotta really balance it out with something.
If you just be twerking in public places a lot of the time, yeah, definitely that's a red flag. But I mean, from a men's lens, it's like you see in twerking is like the first thing in your mind is you looking at ass and you thinking about getting behind the ass. So that's just from our perspective. It's definitely that.
My thing is for starters, shout out to Rockstar BJ.
Yeah,
Blanco Steve.
we can definitely get you on the show, bro.
He said he wanted to get on be a guest appearance. But
Bobby can't be on the show. I'll tell y'all why at the end of the show.
shout out to Big Zah too.
Big Zah. Say that right.
Big Zah.
He don't play about that.
But so I want to also add that I think it's levels to the twerk. Like it's like, and girls know this level too.
Facts, get into it.
It's that level of like girls twerk different when they ain't got their good leggings on, or the good fit on, and so. Restaurant twerking need to be at that bottom tier level of like I ain't got my good shit on, but I'm gonna do a little.
Just a little.
I'm gonna do a little bump in my nice outfit.
It's just gotta be a little bit of this, a little shoulder work, and a little something. I don't want to see you. You shouldn't be sweating and really gyrating in that. Like that's when it gets crazy.
Gyrating. Shout out to Drew.
I don't think men should look at women less if it's a group of women and they in their little element and they having their loose little girls night is one thing, and I don't know quite the vibe of the restaurant to say, but if the vibe fits, I don't think men should be looking down on women. But
facts,
like you were saying, well, if this was a classy, you put napkins over your lab type restaurant, and if it was really living up to the standard that he trying to make it, then standing on the couch twerking, I might be like, she a wild chick. I'm not gonna think she's less than, but she can't be my chick type joint. You know what I'm saying? So
how you feeling?
If it's not the club and you on the couch. If it's not a house party and you on the couch, pretty much inappropriate universally. I can't think of any situation other than those two situations where it's couch time. Like, and even in a wild party, there's lines where girls are like, all right, nigga, it's wild. Like even girls look at each other like, yeah, you done took it a little wilder than I was gonna go tonight. Like, you can have sex in that night and still kind of be chill in the party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that. I don't believe in preaching to women or men that you can engage in any behavior and maintain the same response from society. That's what I'm against. It's not that I say you should do this or you should do that. I'm saying whatever you do, be prepared of a little smoke that come with it. We could be coming on the shirt just like an oiled up, shirtless. Wouldn't it look a little silly though? You know what I'm saying? Like we might vibe, but it's like it's gonna look a little interesting, and you might not want to hear our takes on certain things. Like, what's up with these guys? It's the same with the situation. If you're coming in and you allow yourself to create a sexualized, you can take the benefits of it that people might think you're fun, people might like your vibe, but there's going to be some consequences that people may view you a different way. If you can't accept those consequences, if you're truly pushing to make the society let you do whatever with no backlash, you can be the president and you wear a stripper or something like that. I'm like, come on, like these are unrealistic standards to even act like y'all agree with. And another reason why I'm against it is because women will say, oh yeah, twerking, why y'all judging us for that? And if we start dancing and doing anything in a circle, they like dancing ass niggas.
Yeah, if we go back to that Pretty Ricky grind,
right? If we start doing that, if we start grinding that, like I can't believe this man out here, like what?
Imagine if we start doing the Caribbean, like we flipping motherfuckers.
Yeah, they like, they like bring real men back.
Right. Imagine a world where like it's men in a circle and one man is just in the air like hard, like that's just his move, and we all like go nigga go.
yo. We like yo throw that. That's basically what y'all be doing. Like imagine us having full on parties. It's just me and the guys, and it's just one dude just like getting it in, air humping, and we like go Johnny, posting on the story. Y'all be like this is a weird childish behavior. Like this is something iffy about it.
Doing too much.
But when it's reflected, they're like blind. Like what? They're so obtuse to it. Like what?
Why can't we do this?
I can't do this. Y'all just don't want us to have no fun. I'm like, come on. There's something between 0 and 100. Let's find 50. You can do 50. But y'all want 100, but you want the respect of doing 0.
Right.
It's never going to work. Like, it can't. That's a conflict.
Yeah, it's too prideful.
That's too funny. Go, John.
That
Go.
I'm getting nervous about to call me this.
And we get on Twitter like, yeah, the bros just wild out.
Shit, nigga, if we was in a restaurant doing fucking pin drops in a circle, that's too much.
Like, and that's not even nothing.
Right, and that's not even sexual.
Like what you got to really think. Like, what is the standards of what would you allow for men to do in a large crowd, maybe somewhat loud, that is considered like respectable behavior
Harlan
any
said,
type of eater. It's like
Harlan
nothing.
Said pin drops. I was really doing pin drops. So no skinny jeans.
I could not imagine you as tall as you are doing that.
I was in middle school, man.
Before we go into our third topic, we want to give our guests a little moment to speak on the issue we kind of brought up last week.
We basically kind of shitted on you.
Yeah, we really did. So it's like we're just gonna remind the people of what we spoke on.
Miss Mulatto, what's her name?
Mulatto, aka Big Lotto, aka Lotto, aka anyway. She referred to herself as biracial. She said, "I do not like to identify as black nor white. I am biracial." Then it got a little backlash, and we got into a spirited debate that ended up coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
we just want to give
Harlem slammed the gun on the table.
Right. We just want to give Harlem a moment to speak
no disrespect
on his opinion about that. So
Harlem,
go ahead and tell us what you're thinking, man.
The white man is speaking. Everybody be quiet.
Yeah. Look, white man speaking. I'm talking to white man is speaking first and foremost. Like I said before, man, I feel as if First of all, did y'all discuss what mulatto means?
Yes.
Yeah, we
so
got that.
What you can remind the new followers.
No.
What's
the pure definition?
He's a definition guy.
What's the definition of mulatto?
Yeah, go ahead and look that up for us, Gizzy.
Yeah, no pressure. Y'all, you can still speak.
Okay, so, but I want to be educated though on what that is though before I speak.
You made a lot of bold statements
to not be on that one. But,
yeah. We just need to add that Wikipedia is asking for money right now. Like, this is a crazy time. They is like, please, somebody
talking about donate. They had Apple Pay. I might have still.
If I can't use you on that paper at all, I can't even donate to you. What am I gonna do with you?
Right.
I mean, this is the way I feel about it.
Wait, did you look it up? Look it up. Tell us, Kizzy, what's the official definition?
That's my job. Come on.
All right. A racial classification to refer to people of mixed white and black ancestry. Mulatto is a female mulatto.
Okay, yeah.
So even
better than we were thinking. Better definition
black and white.
Okay, so just the way I feel from being a black person, like I was telling y'all before, like I understand she is biracial.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Like you can be biracial, but I think from me being a black person, like I feel as if it's necessary to claim your blackness, especially if you are an individual who now, like y'all was saying before, shit could be different, experiences could be different. She could have really grew up with a lot of people not looking at her as black. But from my experience and me seeing her now, I have there's been nobody I've seen who doesn't look at her as a black female or in black culture at all. So for me, I want you to be like, I'm a black woman at the end of the day, because like I was telling y'all before, if shit had to really be like sectioned off and what are you really going to go by and who's the crowd you're around, like I wouldn't say she's not a black woman. So I feel as if you should just own up to that. Now, she can do whatever she want to do. I'm not saying I'm going to hate her for it. It's not like she's not telling the truth, or it's not like technically a real definition for it. But what do I agree with it? Nah. I feel like you need to own your blackness.
So to hone this in, let me ask you a couple of questions that I felt was the foundation for why I think that's a bad argument. A, do you believe people of Caribbean or other minorities that are mixed with African Americans should claim black first? For example, a Jamaican black person, an Asian black person, a Hispanic black person. Or do you think just with the white people that you should claim black because it's more polarized, has more of a historical... Is it everybody supposed to be that way, or is it just black and white mixed?
I mean, what do you look at? Do you look at... it depends on how you look at Jamaican people or like Caribbean people.
Exactly. For me, I look at them as a subsect, and if they want to claim it, they can. If they don't, I don't force it. So, for example, if a Jamaican person has the flag in their bio, I'm gonna assume they are Jamaican culture, Jamaican music, Jamaican ideas. If they want to say that we have a separate group from African Americans who grew up in America and Atlanta, I would not have any false claim.
Also, let me ask you this: do you think? Okay, right. Do you think? I think, for me personally, I could be wrong. I could have a skewed mindset of it. I think black and African American are two different things.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't look at, because there can be a white Irishman and a white Italian. You gonna look at them and say that's a white person. You're not gonna, you can't. They can tell you, oh yeah, no, I'm actually Italian. And okay, cool, but it's like you're white though to the visual eye. So I feel like those two definitions are different. African American are African Americans. Black people are people of melanated skin. Like, I think that's two separate
things.
We
have separate views on what that means.
No, I had to look up race versus ethnicity.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
There's a difference to me.
Race, they're a part of the black race, what you're saying. They're not. Their ethnicity is like Caribbean or whatever, but they're black.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm talking about ethnicity.
Exactly. Like I don't like, and I could be wrong. Like, African people, you can be, I'm West African or I'm East African or I'm South African, but if I look at you and you have melanated, you're a black person, and I feel like they would agree. Like,
okay.
You're still a black
well, let me
person.
give you, if you look at someone and you say we both have black skin. However, I grew up in South Africa. So I grew up from a different religion, a different educational system. I don't know your celebrities. I don't know your traditional holidays. You consider that group of people so similar that they should be grouped in the same category, although they have literally nothing but our skin tone.
That's ethnicity, bro.
I'm saying their ethnicity is different, but you're still a black human being.
So you're saying you believe that Asian...
Now, I'm not saying we're the same, nigga. I'm not the same from you.
We're not saying we're the same.
Okay, well, you believe all the people that are in Europe, they consider themselves in the same group as American whites. You don't think that they put their France?
They
or
do,
British?
but the difference is the ethnicity. It's not the race to me. It's the ethnicity is what makes it different.
Okay, abolish that race shit because y'all trying to use that card. All ethnicity, nigga. Well, y'all know exactly, because that's, to me, I hate that we're getting so technical. In the original argument, she's not saying nothing about race. Like, she's just saying her
race. Like, what does she identify?
So everybody who is brown skinned,
black and white's not a fucking ethnicity, bro.
So what's a race? What's race? Just black and white? Black.
That was
Hispanic.
her race that she was speaking on.
Yeah,
so what if she said
biracial.
that she was African American, but her race was black and white? Would you take that? Because that's kind of that same argument. That's in that same realm. Like, she's African American culturally wise.
African American would be ethnicity,
but her race is black and white.
That's a good. We could meet in the middle.
So she said she was biracial.
Racial. Race is in
not like bi
ethnic. Bi ethnic. No, she didn't say African American and Jewish. She said black and white.
I mean, like I said, I still stand by what I said.
So what are the races? Is it 4 races? White, black,
Hispanic,
Hispanic?
Asian. Yeah, I think so.
That's something about
We might
that's
get
already
something for
funny.
that.
That's already not sounding right.
List of races.
That doesn't sound right at all.
It might be black, white, Hispanic, and
Russian,
Asian.
It can only be 4.
Oh, native
American. Okay.
American Indian or Alaska Native, Asian, Black or African American, Hispanic or Latino, Native Hawaiian, or I don't like they just put other Pacific
Native.
Islander, and then white. White. They just got white.
Okay.
Russian
of the Caucasus Mountains.
That's what's weird too, though. Like,
they have no subgroups in the white.
Black Frenchmen do they say I'm a black Frenchman?
But that's a real thing, though.
Yeah,
to be a black Frenchman. That's a real.
And
those are two separate.
What
things.
I'm saying is that I think that now that I understand that, I think that ethnicity should be at the forefront, if anything, not your racial.
Okay, but that's.
I think
that's what he's agreeing on. If you agree with that, you agree with.
No, I'm saying your ethnicity. What France, English. That should be at the forefront of not your skin tone.
But he's saying that in a lot of
but her ethnicity would be African American, right? And I'm saying to own your African American.
Her ethnicity would be African American and white.
Correct? So I'm saying
an American white. Like,
are you not saying African American?
I'm saying it doesn't conflict with what she said, which is biracial.
I feel like she was identifying her race, but the ethnicity should probably be African American.
Yeah, that's what all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Or a biracial. I don't know, because we don't know what her childhood was like with her mama being white.
And you know, and that takes a whole different route. Because like I was telling y'all before, like when we look at other artists who are biracial, like I mentioned Drake. Y'all say he's Jewish or whatever, but Drake says, I'm pretty sure if you ask him, are you a black man, he's gonna say yes. You ask J. Cole, are you a black man, he's gonna say yes. Like there are biracial people in this world, but that doesn't mean you're not.
What I'm saying is that
African American
if they messed up on one day and said I'm biracial, would you take it in the same form, or would you? Is it against them saying they're black?
If they double back and said, so you're saying you're not a black woman or a black man, and they say no, I'm biracial, then I'll be like, nigga, what? Because
biracial is they're just saying I'm claiming the combination. I am a different thing because if someone is red and someone is blue, they create a purple person. And the person's like, are you red? I'm like, nah, I'm purple. Yeah. And you like, she said, I'm not like, so you don't want to say you red. She said, I'm not chocolate. I'm not milk.
You're purple. I'm like chocolate milk.
Somebody has a definition of race.
Okay, we got a comment. Race is just how people group themselves based off what they look like. And in some cases, social qualities. But a bigger topic, because I'm glad we said this. I think what it speaks on, or the reason why, because I'll admit that at one point I had adopted Harlem's viewpoint of it, which is basically just go off of your phenotype, your physical traits. If you look closer to black, it's easier, it's simpler. You should not be offended. I still don't think you should be offended by it, but I just saying, why don't you just pick one? But as I grew, I felt like it was more so pushing people who have very little to no connection with African American. When I say African American, I mean black, like American black, like in the States. Like they have no connection to our culture, they have no connection to our struggles, and they kind of feel a whole different way about a plethora of issues. And we're trying to combine them to a team that is not unified in any type of morals or culture. I'm like, it's impossible for me.
But I think this is an individual who fits that though.
Who?
Mulatto.
You said she can fix that?
I'm saying she fits in everything it takes to be an African American black person. She checks all checkpoints. Like there's nothing that she's like not like we're not trying to force it.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. What I'm saying is that I realize that in doing that, or in creating the standard of blackness, is appearance plus the way that you fit in with African Americans. It will exclude it excludes eccentric black people. It excludes people who are African American who have a dissenting opinion, and it excludes, typically to me, I feel like it excludes wealthier or people who come up who don't share the opinions of the masses. They can end up being excluded just because they don't have the culture. And people who are wanting to help us, who are maybe they don't physically appear to be African American, they don't have the card able to even speak on our issues or assist us because we're needing check these boxes. I feel as though the race should be such a small quality that we almost abandon that fight. Like there was a time where it was a necessary fight. I think that it's become a fight that isn't necessary anymore for our development as people. Like it's now because so many people have involved themselves in interracial dating. It's more problematic for us to be trying to like black check niggas based on culture or looks. And I used to be on that. I agree. But now I've seen just so much. I'm like, it's problematic. We can't, it excludes too many people who could be allies. That's kind of my stance on it.
Question. Do any of y'all have like a preference? Like, you know how some people may prefer to be referred to as black or African American. Is there a preference for y'all on that?
Yeah, I prefer to be called mulatto. Harlem said he's biracial, and Cody said he's mixed with peanut butter and chocolate.
And he said you mixed with nigga and nigga.
I prefer to be referred to as black because when I went into college and you just speak to more people who are more tied to the African culture. First of all, they got a lot of dissing.
Africans don't like black.
Africans are not 100% just like it's
they
all
don't like
love.
African Americans.
There's certain aspects of the culture they disagree with. There's certain like mindsets they feel maybe that we not on our in our bag enough in certain areas, which is okay. I get it. We have like they have room to make little critiques, but to me, the disconnect it was so obvious and made so clear that I was like, oh, hell no, we can't. Like, I don't feel comfortable. This man who actually understands a language in African, he's from there, his parents is like first generation, and me, I'm coming in pop locking with fades and hip hop. And I'm like, this is a whole different, like, so to be saying African American, I'm like, it kind of seems like I'm stealing what should more accurately refer to as you. I'm probably black. If anything, I'm black American. These are more reasonable. Like these fit what my culture more. So I would go with black, but I understand why some people think African culture. We do have it in the past, but
side thing that I wanted to ask you. I don't know if this is good for this podcast.
I was about to say it. I agree.
What homie said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody should I go ahead and
bring it up. Go ahead.
Yeah,
so my boy Graham from Blanco's World. You know what I'm saying?
Shouts out to Graham.
Shouts out to my boy
Not
Graham.
Blanco's World though.
We was having a personal discussion one day, you know, smoking and chilling and shit. And he was just like,
"You smoke?
Smoking cigarettes? We don't do weed,
bro. We smoking straight blacks, bro. All tobacco,
tobacco products."
But he was just saying like, and I seen a Farrakhan snippet. Like he sent me a TikTok a few days later. Like, see, people believe in this, and it's something that had me thinking. He thinks that he finds it hard to believe that a lot of like that America was built purely off of African slaves coming over here. He doesn't believe that. He basically believes that there was black native people here, already here, along with the Native Americans in order to build the nation that we have now. He doesn't believe that millions of Africans came on a small ass boat under those conditions for how many months and came over here and inhabited and grew and made this country the biggest country in the world. He thinks in order for this to happen the way it happened, that there had to be black natives already here to build the foundation of what this country is. So like, and he had me look up pictures of like certain Seminole groups, and they are legit black people that they look like you, Cody, like dead serious. Like they don't even look like kind of African. They look like purely melanated us though. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of had me thinking like, damn, is it that we were already kind of here and they came and just maybe took a few African slaves and mixed it in, but we really were already here with the foundation? Or was it purely all African?
And what is that shift when you talk? When I say what that, I guess that understanding if you subscribe to that idea, what does that change?
It'll make me agree with what you said.
Even more, yeah,
about being Black American and not African American.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the argument. I'm gonna add to that question what you just said, but the argument that was made when I heard this point being brought up, I heard this on Joe Rogan, and the dude was basically saying, logically, if there are people already here, why would you spend all of this money and take all that risk to try to bring people from over here to America when there's already people there? Like, right. If you really trying to make sense of the whole thing, and they looked up the stats, and pretty much more of the African slave trade went to Brazil than it did to America, and it was really pretty much like a bigger percentage. Well, it was a small percentage that went to America actually. And so they were saying they had showed some like temples, like the Mayan. Some of the Mayan temples have like wider nose, kind of emulating black people, and a lot of different things are kind of hinting towards that. And to add to that, when you're really trying to trick somebody in their mind, you're gonna tell them they're not even from here, so they can't even claim the land. It's the same. Like, imagine if black people really knew this was our land before the white people.
Right, and it's like they've been lying. It's like from like the strong black perspective, it's like they've been lying to us about everything since we've been here. So why wouldn't they lie about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they tell us the truth about that? That's the last thing, nigga. If we knew right now there was breaking news on CNN, y'all were already here first. Mm-hmm. There would be the biggest uproar I think we've ever seen in life, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it would be something to keep on doing.
And they were saying that like how Egypt was one of the most modern societies out there. So why would the Europeans be the first to be traveling by boat? Like, they'll try to trick you and make it seem like the Europeans are just the most advanced and they got to everything before everybody else.
Right.
But in all, Egyptians was traveling by boat up and down the Nile River. So why wouldn't they be able to do the same thing if they are more advanced than those who are traveling at that time? So the whole thing just kind of made sense. And I guess, like how you were saying, just you would be connected to America more than ever because you don't even know where you're from in Africa. So it's like,
right.
To say African American, we're trying to connect ourselves to something we don't even know.
Right.
Man,
That's deep. That's deep.
Hey, don't listen to this while you're smoking. It's gonna get you. Oh, hold on.
I feel like it's
when he just said that. Also, I say this that it branches out to my feeling towards a lot of African Americans or blacks. You know what I'm saying? Right now, there's like a push that we don't like America or that we disclaim it or kind of like, I'm like, and that to me is crazy. Especially if this was my mindset before the theory. I even heard this theory, but I'm like, you should be proud of what you were closest to and what you would honestly be disappointed if you had to get shipped anywhere else. Like for me personally, I can honestly say with confidence, if someone said you got to go to a different country, I'd be in tears. I'm like, as much as we have criticism, I'm like, unless you, and I'm not talking that bullshit people be saying, oh well, I'm getting a little money. If you not going, have pride where you at, hold your fort down. Like it's just that mindset to me is such a modernized viewpoint on things. Like if we was really, like I always bring it back to like castle times. Like could you imagine truly coveting an area you've never walked, you've never been,
right,
and assuming that there is no troubles and dangers that's going to occur in that country? That's just a silly mindset. Like if your life is even somewhat comfortable, if you somewhat happy in what you got going on, if you have hopes and you're pushing towards the future, I think that it's crazy to not have pride in where you come from. Not only in the country, but the region, the state, the city. Like all of those things to me are important in building a character, having pride and being grounded in something. If you just feel like that ain't me, that's y'all in America, like, that's silly to me.
Where we gonna go? Like this shit is ours, bro. It's,
right.
To me, you gotta have the mindset of taking back what's ours rather than we done fought and we trying to fight to get it. And as soon as we about to get the motherfucker, like, nah, it ain't even ours anyway. Y'all
right, I'm like, now we gonna give it up. I'm like, maybe in 1770 something. I'm like, not now. It's got lit.
Yeah, fact.
Like America got lit.
We gotta dethrone the motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't.
It's some comments to check on the live though. I think somebody want to talk their shit on there.
Okay.
Let's hope this next Harlem starts.
The sad part is the fair skin thing has always been an ideal in a lot of other cultures as well. She loves Kay. That's a good comment. And that to me, when he says that, when people say that and we talk about colorism, we said that on, it might have been our first or second episode. And some people talk about colorism like we should address it by praising darker skinned women by kind of giving them more roles. And also, but the way I feel it, they truly want to downplay lighter skinned women to kind of even the score of hundreds of years of mistreatment.
Did somebody else leave a comment? Is that a new comment?
Yeah, it's a new comment. Let me get my idea. You need to get on live. You should be getting on live.
I banned from live.
Oh yeah. Look at mine then.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at it. I left some comments on it.
Yeah, but I feel as though.
Okay, so we got
it out loud. But yeah. It's when you're trying to make it fair, you're doing it through resentment. You're not doing it through, hey, we just gonna love everybody. And you need to have a worldview, and this is why we have Monte on it to give psychology and tips and advice. Understand that humans compare ourselves to unreal qualities constantly. So it's not like it's just a black issue. Like we got to work on that because a slave man. I don't believe in that. I believe there's white people who diss paler white people, and we think of it like it's just funny. Y'all all white. They really diss each other. Like redheads get hell out there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Hispanics who are dissing darker people. You know what I'm saying? It's other races that don't make any sense for them to. Why is it that taller means something if we ain't picking apples anymore? You know what I'm saying? Why does a big booty mean? There will always be something that. No, I'm just saying there's physical. He just want everybody to know I'm tall. Don't talk about me.
I'm just saying, like, why you don't even
all I'm trying to say is that that when you focus on a physical trait, understand that it will be replaced by something. So if we got to the point where dark skins were beautiful and light skins were beautiful as well, I think people would be like, but this man got small ears though. And then people be like, I want a big ears, though. I need a nigga with big ears. Like, and it would just be, it's a constant. I don't believe that you can necessarily eradicate all causes of stress or problems within a community. I'm like, you need to make sure you are educated and you pick the things that can even be fixed. To me, colorism, I'm like, that's just like that Timmy Turner episode when there's like the grayest blob. Like, somebody gonna figure out a way to make it like, okay, now we win it.
Color is tripping. Racist. Who said?
Did you want to read that comment?
Yeah.
She said, which one? No, I can't scroll up if you missed it while you was online.
Oh yeah. It was
So 404 Nas said
302, bro.
We are so talented and have many gifts/skills. I feel that we need to be more encouraged to pursue other career fields besides the one they show us all the time, like sports and rapping.
Well, can we speak on doing nails and nah, I'll leave that alone. I'm tired of seeing that.
How do you respond to that about the rapping and stuff like that?
I mean, that shit ain't for everybody, bro. Everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody can't be a basketball player, football player. Like, we do have more skills, and I think when we understand that, we will be better overall successful people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just naturally just being realistic. Fuck the racial thing or what we need to do as black people. There's bags out here to get in all different realms and all different sorts of ways and businesses and companies. There's just bags to get.
Our generation on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the older,
but we gotta continue to be on it.
The older generations of black right now is in the black renaissance. Like, everybody's figuring out a way to get their money in a different way.
Right.
It's just what the younger people see as cool is being put out there on Twitter world and everything else. And so, like, that seems like the voice of black, but it's truly not. Like, we missing a whole group of people on Facebook in a whole different arena that's not even, you know, speaking up on everything that's getting done. Like, I was listening to the radio because my cord is fucked up. But anyway, I was listening to the radio, and it was like a black business shout out, and it was just like lawn care, plumbing. Like, it was just everybody coming on there with their little thing, and it just kind of reminded me that, like, hey, look, we are getting it. It's just still not cool in the young eye still. And it's being...
What Vontae just said is the issue, though. And that's what we got. What you got to understand is this.
Everybody can have a business.
And everybody needs to think deep. Not even that. That's true, though. Everybody can't. But the truth is, you don't change a culture until you make the positive behaviors promoted, or you create that as like that's the norm, or that's what we're pushing or promoting people to do. And part of that is through sexual selection. So until women are done, like they're not attracted to dudes who just are engaged in crazy violence or have no budgeting skills, until you stop picking them to sleep with them, I feel like there's no way to a certain degree.
So your pussy
they will always keep going. And for men, it's the same thing. Like, but at the same time, I believe that I don't believe that men like anything more than they like sexual selection. Like, you don't even get to pass your seed on. If the women say, hey, all of a sudden, we only take dudes who say good morning every day. If that just happens, we say good morning. Like, we have to adjust to their, like, unless you're engaging in a forceful. So I think that you have a role. They definitely do. And I think, but along with it, I say that to the woman, like, you play a role in it. But I'm gonna say for dudes, the role is this: there's so many dudes who I believe, whether they know it or not, they're becoming hoes. Like, they're becoming like a slave to women's desire, even if they don't. And what I mean by that is, like, I remember I say people in high school, I don't have as much sympathy for people who mess up in high school and when they have a good, comfy situation, because I believe I was in the room with coaches, with parents, with hella speakers. They was coming in once every semester to tell us, hey, make sure y'all get y'all stuff together. You want to plan for the future. Make sure you think 5 years ahead. And I remember I was in the front of class like this, like, right? And there's always some goofballs in the back, like, I did crazy cracking jokes or rap. I'm like, bro, it's you. Like, it's your fault. You sacrifice. They sacrifice a couple girls rocking with them later. I mean, a couple girls rocking with them now, just to sacrifice them what they could do in the future. I feel like that's a constant, like that's a trend amongst men. Like, I'll go and spend recklessly on my money now, just to get some girls to like me, but I won't be thinking about the future. I'm like, you trying to steal another man's plate of women. Like, somebody else was deserved that. A man who was accomplished, he deserved this shorty. Like, right now, it's time for you need to be grinding and building something for the future. I feel like that's a thing between men. Like, oh, I want to see how many. Not every dude is gonna have hella hoes. Like, some dudes, if you're being honest and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're only supposed to average 2 a year.
Man,
be nice. Some dudes supposed to average 40. Some dudes supposed to average 2. Take your numbers and build.
I'm gonna say this though. I think it's on the whole society. Like, even not just women, because men are thinking that that's what every woman wants because it's being put out there by a lot of women on the rap music side of it. But these women will take a warehouse nigga in a second. Like, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, you want it to be easy for you, but if you really got game, you could be in the bottom of the pit, and they gonna, if you got potential to you, they gonna rock with you. But you know what I'm saying? There is a larger group of women it'll be easier for you to get women if you do have this type of thing. But if you know you're gonna put some work in, then you can get any of them.
Hey, Vontae, the game is to be sold, not to be told, man.
Hey, do it for $1.99.
Wait, let me say one thing, Kizzy, with that Vontae said that I sold to my brothers. Like, Every man, and you got to get rid of this in your mindset. Every man wants that asshole money. When I say asshole money, I mean that's the type of money. I'm not politicking with shorties. I'm not giving them questions and where I'm finna be, what time. You want so much money that girls accept you with pretty much anything. Like I'm gonna come home at 1 o'clock.
You want a pool bigger than Congress.
Right? They want the car. They want the whip. They want girls to just when they walk in the room, they like, oh Lord.
Right.
Or they want handsome nigga treatment too.
Yeah, they want that handsome, pretty boy. Like I don't crack that many jokes. I'm quiet. I'm shy. That's what they want. Like, bruh, not every man. If you're not a handsome dude, you gotta live it. You gotta accept that. That's part of being a man, embracing your struggle. So now, what you finna do? Learn to talk. Learn to crack jokes.
Remember
learn
that topic though?
What?
When women know when they're ugly, and when men know when they're ugly.
Men, it's important for you more than women to embrace. Hey, I'm ugly. Quick. You need to learn that by age 17. What we finna do? Like we getting a different lineup. What haircut we need to go with? Everything. Like I don't believe in that. That's what I think it pushes dudes to get engaged in lifestyle for that quick cash. Like some people have the intelligence and the mind to get quick cash. For a lot of dudes, it's gonna be budgeting. Learn to budget. Like learn how to struggle for your wife. You know what I'm saying? And with women, I'm like, learn how to struggle for your husband. Like, I feel like it's a mindset of I want everything now. I want everything with no cons. Like I want a perfect man, rich. He don't do anything wrong, and I don't do anything. I'm like,
but it's also tough. people gotta look for the long run because right now young girls do want young, wild fun, but when they start to slow down, it's like we're the educated niggas now. Like,
right?
they gonna get tired of that. But the men want it like, shit, I want a woman now, so I gotta do this now. But if you really went to school and got your career, or you didn't even gotta go to school, but if you really got your career and your shit together like that, on that side of the table, you'll be the pick of the litter because it's women looking for men who got their shit together, and they turn out to be with niggas who been wild and fun, and they wilding and fun until they 30.
Right, and it's like, Cody, you helped me realize this growing up, and I feel like that's why I've grown as a man and gotten better in all realms as I continue to grow because this shit is a marathon, bro. Like, a motherfucker reached a peak when they was 17, 18, and right now, where the fuck is they at? And I done excelled your ass, but you would have never thought 5 years ago I would have did that, right? It's all because of you have to have a vision for yourself, and you got to continue to, like, you can't do the fast, quick shit and all for the pussy and all for the... That shit gonna crash and burn. Then what? Because pussy always gonna be there. It's always gonna be there. But you know what ain't gonna be there? The opportunity that you missed 3 years ago that you should have took upon.
And I said this to girls the time they was getting mad at me like, yo, you need to understand as a woman, your window of opportunity for the peak man is not forever.
Right.
Our window of opportunity is so rooted in the ability to provide that you might be dudes a lot of times, unless you're a handsome or fly or used to hoop or something. A lot of times a dude's peak is age 25 to 35.
Right.
You got to give him a reason to come out the game because he just got his money together. He just got a car. Right. For a woman, however, it because it's rooted a lot in looks and what you can provide at home, and a lot of people ain't super on the traditional housewife stuff. I feel like sacrificing for you may be, hey, I could be the baddest girl at every club party from age 21 to 25. Or I can go to a couple parties, sacrifice some fun, and I get my good dude at age 24. And that's a tough decision for some women to make. They're like, yo, I can get famous on Instagram. I can get some followers. I can go to every party. I can travel. I can get that OnlyFans money. Like, it's a lot of little things on the line for a woman. So I understand it's hard, but it's the same as a dude that knows, like, I'm going to put in some time. Like, delayed gratification. You said what?
Would you do OnlyFans if you were a woman?
Oh, here we go with this. No, bro. No.
You think so?
No. I wouldn't do it unless my stuff was tied and I didn't want no kids. I didn't want no future with a family. Like, I just... No, bro. No.
But all them porn stars be married and have kids and happy families.
That's a wild one. Hey, we need to touch on that Vaughn topic before it's too late, though.
Go ahead. Get into it. Explain it for us, bro.
All right. So, there's been a lot of talking about... We can start at different angles on this whole thing, but NBA YoungBoy was just on live the other day or something like that. He was on live with one of his little homies. He was like, "Why the fuck do fighting make you a man? Like, you know, killing a nigga is really when you become a man." That's how he was sounding. And so the topic has been about, was Quando and his crew scary for for getting the shooting when they was getting to scuffling with King Von and that whole situation. And we got Pistol Pete right here who says Quando was scary for making
No. Okay, look. I'm legit joking. Look. I'm just telling y'all in the chat, like, oh, he's scary. I feel like, nigga, he definitely got his ass punched in the face and didn't even, like, it looked like he got bitched in that moment, but I wouldn't say the nigga who shot, he did what he was supposed to do at the end of the day, or what niggas in that limelight or people who live that life, that's what they supposed to do. But did Quando Rondo get his ass punched in the face and look like a bitch in that moment? He did.
So the question really is, though, is the narrative that fighting makes you a man, is that fading away in this time, or is that still the thing?
100%.
Yeah, this gun that Harlem purchased is proof right here.
But the thing about it is, though, I'm not like it's a whole different thing. Like, I'm not looking to. I have it on me to protect. It's all in protective circumstances. Like, in that situation, they felt like it was protective. So you just judge it. You just gotta judge it situation by situation. For me, it seems as if when I'm looking at the tape, like, I just don't know if he's gonna be able to really get self-defense off of that. So that's what would have me in the moment, like, kind of like, am I gonna really do this for real? Because some motherfuckers, it don't matter about the charge. I'm just riding up, whatever.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I'm like, is this really self-defense? If I just pop 3 niggas right now?
Man, Harlem giving the legal defense. Let me ask a question that Vontae wanted to ask.
You gotta think like that, though.
Are you, while having a gun on you, taking any ass whoopings in the law? Like, taking a loss in a fight? Can you take the fight and can you just lose the fight and be like, you know what? I deserve that when I was talking crazy. I'm going to get out of here, man.
I feel like in the real sense, we should be able to, but it's just not realistic.
Are you?
Time. I would prefer that because I know what this shit, bro. If I get in the altercation right now, like this nigga, I know y'all probably know that, like the Gilly the Kid and Wallow podcast. He said, like, people be in jail, but just think about it, just in general, like people be in jail for life over something they did in 20 seconds, 30 seconds, over something that a few months from now you're not even gonna give a fuck about, but you wasted your whole life over. My gun is not for me to. I do little funny shit with y'all, but it ain't like I'm just riding around like Glock on my lap for real. Like, nah. Like, so, I just have it for my own protection.
If it was just 2 dudes on you, kind of giving you a good whooping, just 2 dudes, then what?
That's self-defense. If 2 niggas are jumping me,
not jumping that
nigga across the street. What
if you know these dudes ain't got no physical, like, nothing to kill you? They just want to put their paws on you. You just got to take, because that to me is also part of a man, like, because you have the power on you. Like, to me, the way I look at it is this: like, they crack jokes on you bringing the gun. Like, when you carry the gun around, you're not a person that engages in fight losses. You're coming to that's the energy. Now, like, I'll get a gun for my crib, so I'm like, I can protect my family. But other than that, if they want to go throw hands, I'll throw hands. If I don't want to throw hands, I need to move like a man who doesn't want to throw hands. But when you bringing that fire on you, it's gonna be hard as hell to motivate yourself to take that. That's like having in your
right.
That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of playing basketball and you got Astro boots in your shit, and you see a nigga got a dunk on you, and you like, I just could take it. I shouldn't even. You gonna be like, you gonna get up and block it, like.
And that's the price you gotta pay, and that's the things I think about. But the only reason I carry it on me for real is because anything can happen at any given situation. I could be walking down the street with my shorty, and 5 niggas come try to surround me and do something to her. Then of course I gotta, you know what I'm saying. But
that's why I want you to say I am like the Quando Rondo shooter. I would,
but
I want you to say it.
But I'm saying it's gonna be for just that situation. He wasn't getting put pause on him personally. So in that situation, my first instinct would be I'm trying to go help y'all niggas fight because I'm not. If I'm getting my ass whooped, I'll pull out this gun.
It looked like at least 20 to 30 niggas behind him.
So it looked like he was getting mollywop.
Let's just say Sean was out the car, you in the back seat, and you kind of looking through the car, and you see somebody going crazy, and you see him getting surrounded by niggas. What you doing then? You going like, watch out, who I gotta hit first? Or you coming with it?
You pulling that fire out.
It's all how I'm feeling, bro. It's all how you feeling in the moment, and if you willing to ride out.
Okay. Well, in general, if you had to put a moral code, what is the time when lethal fire should be used?
Self-defense.
So
under
any
that's all I'm saying. Like in that situation, if Quando would have pulled the pocket rocket out his sock and did that shit, it would have been like, that's self-defense. He gonna be in court like, I can't wait to get on the stand and tell y'all how I defended myself. You know what I'm saying? For the other nigga, it's and you gotta live with that. And I'm saying in that moment, that's when you gonna decide to do it. I can tell y'all right now and cock my shit like, yeah, I'm about to be ready to do it. But in that moment, you have to think about 25 to life.
But you can't use your gun to save others.
Yeah, but you also have to judge. Can I save it by just me enforcing myself in that, or do I really have to save niggas by shooting?
I would say.
I think in that moment, I'm with Vontae. I'm like, if I see, you got to think about this, Harlem. I guess put yourself in a situation.
I'm not saying niggas is wrong.
I'm
just saying you got to think about
Vontae are getting our ass whooped. We're getting whooped, jumped by niggas in your face.
He ain't saving y'all.
Yeah, and Deshaun, we getting whooped right in front of you. You got the gun. You just like in the corner, like, you know what the hell? You just got out the restaurant late. You just got out the restaurant late. We on the floor like, hey, anybody, hey.
I might let off a warning shot.
What you say? You gonna let off a warning shot?
I might let off a warning shot.
Shit, I'm like, kill these.
My biggest fear is like having the gun. And I'm like, all right, don't make me do it. And then somebody just like gotta grab this. They're like,
yeah, they hit it out your hand. Now you get rocked. Right? He trying to kill us too, bro.
He gonna put a gun out there.
Nigga gonna be stomping your ass out.
All I'm saying is, if y'all getting jumped and I kill the nigga, y'all put money on my books for the rest of my life.
Yeah, putting a lot of money.
You get life, and I would definitely give you 10 a week.
I'll be understanding like a little girl, like I was scared for my life. I didn't think I was gonna make it out, and he saved me. True. And then that should be like, all right.
I'm just saying. I just know from my perspective, I really think about that time. That time that you're gonna do over that. Like you have to make it. You have to tell yourself this is 100%. I am in the right for me to do it. If I feel any sketchiness, I might try to shoot niggas. I might try to jail. I might try to shoot a nigga in the leg. I might try to shoot a nigga in the leg. I might try to warning shot. You know what I'm saying? But that nigga came to kill, executed. He shot two other niggas, died on that scene. Like I don't know.
Well, how do you get King Von particularly? Like, I'm like,
while we're on the Von situation,
he was so close to that.
You gotta get out.
You gotta get out of here. Can I have some more?
Go ahead, bro.
While we're on the Von situation, there's been a little bit of criticism aimed at Asian Doll for apparently, I guess that people feel like she's overdone the mourning process. I know she was associated romantically with King Von, and she even made a statement. I feel like people are not giving me the same treatment they gave Kobe Bryant's wife when he passed.
LOL.
What is you guys' response to these comments?
Hold on. Say that again.
Asian Doll felt as though she's not getting the same response or ability to mourn as Kobe Bryant's wife when she passed away.
Did she just compare herself to Vanessa Bryant?
LOL.
Let's speak on it. Dig into it. Hey, dig into it, Harlem.
Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting
And niggas said that about her. That line was about Vanessa.
Exactly.
So what you think? Bro, first of all, I respect the fact that
respect the Blancos.
They was in love or whatever. They had a relationship.
Blanco junkies.
But you going too far. Like, you really gotta, like, there's a difference between, like, somebody who was married, had kids, had a foundation versus y'all would just fucking harder than at the end of the day, y'all really were just fucking in reality. I didn't see y'all niggas have no cribs together, no kids together, no businesses together. Y'all niggas in reality was just fucking. So yeah, post me, go hard for me, say how much you miss me and you love me and you pray for my soul, all of that. Maybe even get me tatted, okay. But to act like you supposed to get respect, like that's like if something happened to me and my shorty say, I'm supposed to get the same respect as Chadwick Boseman's wife. Like, what? Like, we haven't established, like, in reality, we didn't get to that point to even get that type of love. You know
so are you pinpointing it more so on the lack of status of her status in his life or the lack of his status in the world?
Lack of her status in his life.
All of the above.
Like if Kevin,
I agree. I say it's all of the above.
If Kevin Gates was God forbid, if something happened to Kevin Gates, we know his wife, that Drika lady. We know her. We know the type of relationship they had. She can do all of that. She can do all of that shit. I have no problem, bro. Gucci wife, Keisha. What's her last name?
Keisha
Kayor. She can do Vanessa. She can do Vanessa level type shit, Lauren London type shit, and it makes sense. I think she missed that. Like, you didn't get a chance to do that. So we
wasn't claiming her enough for that.
The nigga last interview, the nigga was talking about, I ain't even really found the one yet, bro. That shit hurt. I'm like, ouch. And you still like, that should have made me pump the brakes. Like, all right,
The tat was crazy too.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Cat was definitely crazy. But this, to me,
I think it was crazy to put it on the hand.
Yeah.
I didn't think I definitely knew she was gonna get attacked just because she had tatted girl already.
No, somebody was like, yeah, that's too far. What if she want to date someone else? And someone was like, and I heard someone say, so she's just mourning. I'm like, oh gosh, y'all just don't get it.
You do got to think about it.
I got to take the glasses off, and I'm like, y'all just don't get it.
Because I know for me personally,
that hand is useless.
I'm not gonna
right. That hand is.
I am not gonna marry a woman who got another man's face tatted on her head. I would.
To me, I'm gonna say what is really touching on.
Nigga.
What it's really touching on is when you ever hear people that tweet stuff like it's called I can't get in a relationship. Y'all niggas is out here embarrassing y'all. I'm like, this is the reason why you need that relationship. Right. Because what you notice when you're single is that you still invest. You always gonna have your feelings, and it's impossible to involve yourself romantically and sexually with someone for a certain period of time and not have feelings in it. It is worthwhile risking the embarrassment just to know if something goes left, the world will comfort you in your downfall or your moments of. And people don't think about that. Like when I'm giving you guys real deal advice is why would you force or what's some of the pros of monogamy? If some shit goes down, people gonna be like, you'll at least have a crowd. People like, I can't believe I'm so sorry for you. Like when you are the side piece, the mistress, the person that just pulls up,
you better not say the word.
They like, yo, shut up. Yes. They're like, move on. Life goes on. Right. Get it together. They're not they don't have the same level of sympathy. Like that feeling is so like to have an established important role in someone's life where everybody can say that it's worthwhile the risk of, you may have to deal with the risk of, just like with Kobe's situation. She dealt with some stuff. You feel what I'm saying? He clearly got an unfaithful situation, but in this moment, the world welcomed her because she had gotten that status. Nobody's talking about Kobe's mistresses. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about the partners who just had good vibes with him. So when people make that argument, I'm like, understand it's pros and cons to both. Don't ever try to make singles just excellent. And then don't make relationships just perfect. It is both parts have pros and cons, and this is an example of the cons. Like she didn't get the support from the world because you did not get that established role in the man's life.
And too, like what y'all said, it is a point of him not being established enough too. Because for instance,
facts. White people don't know King Von
and like
Kobe Bryant. That's Kobe.
I'm gonna give y'all an example. Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD was a pretty big artist still. He still had growing to do.
Right.
But he was still a big artist at a short period of time. He had a girlfriend at the time he died. Ain't nobody giving her Vanessa Bryant type support.
Right.
But they was together ride or die though.
She ain't rap though. She wasn't no rapper.
That ain't got shit to do with that shit. That ain't got nothing to do with that.
So Kizzy, dig into that. Kizzy, what does that have to do with it?
I'm gonna say Juice WRLD, her girlfriend we got Live With My Love. She was also famous. The girl famous too. And I hate she did that tat. Like she could have just did a name. You got his whole.
But you feel like Vanessa Bryant was really famous though?
Yeah, off of how long she's been with Kobe. Yeah.
If Vanessa Bryant walked in, I could not identify her.
I think the magnitude of Kobe made her.
Yeah.
So
Kobe was that big, but King Von's girlfriend was a rapper that these little ratchets love. So, I mean, shit.
Name 3 songs.
I couldn't name you 3 Lotto songs. What you mean? I don't know.
That's fact. Let me and then another thing. Let me say this. What I've noticed a lot about people who have like, I don't know how to say, they're very liberal in how they feel sexuality and stuff should be expressed. They tend to be very conservative in the way that they respond to it. So it's just like we just got the tap on the shoulder. We got to go ahead and close it out.
Yeah, the man came and tapped us on the shoulder. Like,
yeah, but you guys are tuned into another episode of Perspective Junkies. C Swank, I'm calling it a day. You guys have fun. Enjoy your life.
Word.
Stay up.
Stay blessed.
Hey, Cody don't know shit.
Hey, Swank, you 4L.